Up to 80% of Black women will experience fibroids by the time they are 50 years of age. Why is this? Why are Black women disproportionately affected by fibroids? Keep watching to find out, because your girl is going to break it down as per usual. Hey friend, welcome back to Essence of Earth. I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss Nikita. And y'all know over here, friend, we're gonna talk about everything that's gonna help you improve the quality of your life. So if that kind of stuff interests you, I'm gonna ask that you join my little family here. It is steadily growing and I'm so appreciative. Go ahead and subscribe, click the notification bell so you'll be notified every time your girl posts, and that is every Sunday. Okay, the Lord's Day. So as you guys know, I like to jump right into the topic because, you know, your girl can get a little lengthy with talking. So I try to keep it together as best as I could. So let's get into the topic at hand. I always like to start it off with defining what it is we're talking about. And today we're talking about uterine fibroids and Black women. What is a uterine fibroid? And a fibroid is simply a benign tumor that is growing on the uterus. Okay, that is what a uterine fibroid is. It's not cancerous, but it does cause other health issues like pain, fertility issues, and most common, very heavy bleeding. And aesthetically, as these tumors grow, it can make women look like they're pregnant, and nobody wants to be mistaken for a pregnant woman. So in basic terms, that is what a uterine fibroid is, and a little bit of the health issues that you will see with having uterine fibroids. So now I'm going to go into genetics, because a lot of women that I come across, they'll say that their mother had them or their grandmama had them, and now they have them, and they get in their minds like, oh, this is genetics. And yes, genetic weaknesses can be passed down from generation to generation, but like my good girlfriend say, Barbara O'Neill says, genetics slows the gun and lifestyle pulls the trigger. So one thing that I wanted to bring up, and I don't want to get too deep or too complex, because that's what I like to do. I like to do the research and then make this research digestible for you, so that the basic person can understand what the heck is going on and why people say that this is genetics. And what you need to understand is this gene called MED12. MED12 is simply a gene that has to do with cell growth regulation. Okay, and the research shows that usually in fibroid cases, 70% of the women actually have this mutated MED12 gene. They have a mutated gene, and a mutated gene just means that there's a gene, there's this little thing, and it's messed up in the inside, messed up in the head. You know, like you got, if you're in the hood, you know that crazy person to stay away from, right? He has a human body just like you and I, but something is off, right? And that's a mutated gene. I hate to use that analogy, but it works. I'm sorry to that man. I'm sorry to that woman, but I had to use you as an example because that way you can kind of get it, right? So a mutated gene is just a gene that has some type of error within it that's causing it not to work the normal way that it should. Okay, so the research shows that 70% of fibroid cases actually have this mutated gene. For whatever reason, Black women tend to have higher frequencies of this mutated gene, which makes them genetically predisposed to getting uterine fibroids. It's just, oh my gosh, I love this so much. So we have to understand that is how we become genetically predisposed. Now, why do we get this? That is a little bit more research that I have to do. Like, why is it in Black women? And I think it comes down to the fact that a lot of Black women tend to also have more estrogen. When you think about estrogen, you think about a growth hormone, like it's the hormone that causes growth. And typically in Black women, if you look at other different groups, Black women have always been classified as very shapely. Our hips, our buttocks, right? Our breasts. And I'm not classifying all Black women, but it is typical for Black women to be more shapely and which means that we typically have more estrogen than these other groups. So I really think that that plays a huge role in this MED12. But that's just my take on it. That's just my take. I don't know. Another hormone that I want to talk about that I really haven't heard a lot of people mention is cortisol. When you think about cortisol, cortisol is what's released when we're under stress. And they always saying a strong Black woman, but you know what comes with being strong? A lot of stress. All right, we have so many different stresses of the world on our shoulders, you know what I'm saying? And when we have a lot of stress, we typically have a lot of cortisol. And what happens when you get a lot of cortisol in your body? Cortisol and progesterone need pregnenolone in order to actually be like produced and released. So if there's a lot of cortisol, then the body is going to say, you know what? We have to handle this stress that she's in right now. So instead of making progesterone, we're going to make cortisol. So your cortisol levels are going to increase and progesterone and is going to decrease. But guess why you need progesterone? You need progesterone to help you balance estrogen. So now guess what? That hormone that you need to balance out the estrogen in your body, which is a growth hormone. Hello. That hormone that you need to balance the estrogen is now significantly reduced. So guess what? Now you get more estrogen. Now you get more cortisol, and it's all feeding your fibroids. Okay. So Black women, we're coined strong Black women, but we got a lot of stress too. And we gotta look at that, the weight around our abdomen, right? This visceral fat. And I'm going to talk about another video going into visceral fat, but you got all of this weight around your abdomen, you got high cortisol levels, and you have fibroids. Okay. And it's all kind of mixed in there working together. It's like a little melting pot. It's like one thing is causing another, right? I said before, genetics loads the gun, lifestyle pulls the trigger. Okay. So just because we may be predisposed to this because of genetic weaknesses doesn't mean that it actually has to manifest in us if we decide to live a certain way. Minimizing toxins, doing our detoxes, having a balanced diet, all of that matters. Okay, so we have to think about our lifestyle and our environment and how that can be contributing to the estrogen dominance that's in our body, which feeds these uterine fibroids. And I need you to know, and I need you to understand that there are a lot of products and products that you could be using, like scented candles, the body washes you use, the perfume that you use, the body lotions that you put on. They all have these estrogen mimicking like hormones that when you put that on your skin, because whatever you put in your skin gets absorbed in your bloodstream, and now these things are going to mimic estrogen in the body. And as I said before, estrogen is a growth hormone. So we get in all of these toxins from the things that we use every day that are contributing to the growth of our hormones, ladies. Okay. So all of this matters. Okay. All of it matters, and why Black women are disproportionately affected by uterine fibroids. I think it's beautiful to know, because with knowledge comes correction and action. And I hope that what I'm providing to you will kind of make you look at you and look at what you do and think about how you can change, what changes that you can make in your everyday life to prevent some of these things, right? I'm in these groups and people are always talking about these uterine fibroids. And I'm like, why so many Black women? And this is just kind of like the surface layer of things. I want to go deeper. Where is that information? I want to go deeper, but these are a few things that I've learned, and I wanted to share them with you. And I hope that it has been a blessing to you in some kind of way. And I hope that you can take this and make changes in your life so that your daughter isn't going to be affected by this and can't have kids. You don't want that, right? You don't want to be that reason because you don't want to teach your kids how to eat, right? Balance, right? It all starts with you, because you buy the food. You buy that food. You buy those sweets. You buy those scented candles that have endocrine disruptors and mimic estrogen once it gets into your bloodstream. Like, you're buying this stuff. So we have to look at our lives and see how we can make these changes to prevent these things, not only in ourselves, but in our bloodline as well. Preach, Pastor. I think I will. Amen. But I really want people to get this. I really do. Because we got to make some changes here. We have to make some changes, and it starts with what you do more than anything. And then, my son laughs because I do that wrong, but y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in there, that little trend, I guess. But you eat more than anything, friend. So let's start there with your diet. And I hope this has been a blessing to you. Share this with your family and your friends. Subscribe. Come back next week, and I'll be talking about visceral fat. You got that around your abdomen, and you're like, what is this around my abdomen? It's so hard to get rid of. I'm going to break that down for you. So stay tuned. Be blessed. Love you, smooches.